What the heck is going on down there? Well, we'll get to that, guys, by the end of the video, but what I'm going to show you today is how to get the best weapons and equipment in DayZ with the least risk to your health and safety. And it's very, very simple. You may think the solution lies in looting the right buildings or hanging with the right size crew, but no, it's nothing like that. It's very, very simple. You will find people's camps around the edges of the maps, which I'm showing you here in Chernerus. People try and store their gear in tents right up at the edge of the map. People can no longer really effectively create bases outside of the map like they used to do. So they tend to put it in the forests and the trees and behind hills and stuff all along the edge here from about 000 down to about 006 or 7. So all you have to do really is go on foot and run the edges of the map, and you will come across literally dozens of camps. Some of them will be huge camps, and a lot of them will have every single piece of equipment and weapon you could ever hope for in DayZ. You'll often find vehicles as well, although you're more often likely to find the tent camps as well in some of these areas here. And if you're going to do this, make sure you have plenty of food and especially drink, unless you're going to cruise the edge of the map in a vehicle, because you will run out pretty quickly with all the running. If you can find a bicycle, you're set basically. You got a stealth vehicle and you're not going to use as much food and drink as well. So just to demonstrate exactly the kind of camps you can find, this is basically all on the one server that I'm going to show you here, and I basically ran the edge of this map and I found about a dozen camps. In the background here you can see a couple of tents, but there's more than a couple once we get up there. I can guarantee you of that. And let me just take you up here. I've already raided this camp probably half a dozen times already, and there is still a whole heap of gear. Let's turn on the night vision here in these tents. What seems to happen is, maybe it's when the servers reset, but sometimes these people seem to get all their equipment back pretty much after server reset. And you can just keep taking what you want, and they've got so much gear that I really doubt they're going to miss a lot of it, unless you steal something obvious like a vehicle, or you destroy the camp. And really, you're better off not destroying the camp, because you can come back. It's almost like a renewable resource. And you can see here these guys have got nearly 20 M9 SD mags. They've got an M9 Nat10 alone, and here we got 40 Stanag magazines, some Coyote backpacks and stuff like that. And this is after I've already taken a lot of their gear already and stored it in my own camps. So we've got some more ammo here. It's always good to find ammo, supplies, and 50 camping tents as well. So I'm going to take some of those as well, because I've been setting up all my own camps. And basically, when I set up a camp, I don't set up a huge tent city like this one. I'll just set up a single tent in one location and kind of do it that way. And that way, if one tent gets found, that's cool, because you got heaps of other single tent locations to go to if you do happen to get killed by a hacker or whatnot. So you can see here just some of the gear here, like the wire fencing, sandbags, all of that crazy stuff. And yeah, it's just insane. And these are not the only tents. If we go down a little bit further down the hill here, oh yeah, just crazy. It's just crazy the amount of tents here. And these all these tents have like AS50s, M107s, M4A1 SDs. There was a few like LMGs, all that sort of stuff. And as you can see here, we got some satchel charges as well, and some vehicle parts, ghillie suits, absolutely anything you could ever want in DayZ aside from vehicles in this particular camp was there for the taking. NVGs, all that good stuff. One thing I did find hard to locate were rangefinders, but luckily I already had a couple of those. So yeah, I just went crazy and took a whole lot of stuff here. As I said, this was about my 5th or 6th trip back to this camp to steal stuff and take it back to my own camp at zero risk to myself. I never saw anyone here. Mind you, it is night time, and maybe that's the reason why. Now, never mind guns and equipment and NVGs and all that stuff. Probably the most sought after item in DayZ is, of course, the precious dew. And sure enough, I found like a 2-tent camp in the same server, not too far from that one actually. And he had like how much is that? That's about 16 cans of Mountain Dew there. And he also had a whole bunch of stuff there on AS50, as you can see. Some G36 SD ammunition. Interesting. Obviously a hacker. Now another decent sized camp I located on this same server while going around the edge of the map here looking for camps. There's this one down here on this kind of a plateau. It looks a bit obvious for a spot to put a fairly big camp with sandbag walls and everything in, but there you go. I guess these people didn't worry too much about helicopters reconning the area or anything like that. But I got the feeling that these people were maybe the admins for the server, and I'll explain why a bit later. But I'm just scoping it out here, making sure no one's around. And nope, no one down there. So we'll head down there and we'll raid this camp as well and see what these guys have got. Now actually in this case, I believe this was my very first visit to this camp. So I had the old ATV there. And we'll head down there. The beauty of taking a vehicle on these searches for camps is you have the storage space. You can stick a fair bit of guns or ammo, whatever you want to take, into your vehicle and scarper with it. You're a bit limited if you've only got a backpack in terms of the amount of weapons and stuff you can fit in. But these people had the GAZ as well. It wasn't in working order though. I think it was missing, well, we'll have a look in a second when I get into it. But yeah, I've never actually driven one of these GAZs. I've never had the urge to repair one. Maybe I should. They don't look too bad. So you can see it's only missing like, I think it's only missing a single wheel. I love the bubble seat covers in there. It's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome ride. But let's get out of that. So I'm just checking some of their tents here in this camp, and we've got an M107 in this tent. We've got a whole bunch of M240 ammunition, which I couldn't use because I've got one of those. We've got some M107 ammunition as well, and stuff like that. So I'll grab some of that good stuff and put it in the ATV. And the M107 is pretty much the second most powerful sniper in the game after the AS50. But the AS50 is a beast, which they also have in this camp. So I'll stick that in the ATV. And then we'll go check out the rest of the tents as well. Okay, now this is a little bit later, and I'm just going to show you some of the gear that I've put in the ATV. The ATV is pretty much chock-a-block, can't fit any more in at this point. So I've got one AS50, two M107s, one SVD camo, which is super rare, and a whole bunch of ammunition and equipment and stuff like that. You know, your ghillie suits, your NVGs, GPSs, etc, etc, etc. Now what I'm going to do is, I actually found a whole bunch of satchel charges at these camps, and I'm going to plant one here just for something to do, just for some laughs, right next to the GAZ, and then I'm going to plant the other one in their tent area, and take off to a safe distance up the hill here. Now this was actually my first time ever using satchel charges. These things are super rare, but I did find I actually found a heap of these things in various camps that I've been raiding, so I'm going to have a bit of fun with these later, as you'll see in some of my videos to come. Some epic stuff heading your way in the near future once I've edited it down and rendered it into a video form. But Anyway, let's get back to what I'm doing here. And I'm just, I'm like miles away up the hill actually, probably a little bit too far. You have to be within, I think it's 300 meters of the satchel charge for you to be within range to detonate the thing. So I'm going to have to actually get a little bit closer here. But I'd heard that these things were super powerful and I didn't want to kill myself. So as you can see, we're a little bit past the 300 meter mark here. And you can actually see the satchel charge there next to the tree where the tents are. And the other one there just to the left of the DayZ. So they'll do a bit of damage. They're not going to destroy the entire camp by any means. But let's see. Let's see what happens when we trigger these. Let's just move a little bit closer into range. Oh yeah! There goes the first one. Let's move closer for the second one, which is a little bit further away here. And number 2, epic. So we flattened a few of their tents there. There goes the fuel tank in the DayZ. And I guess the guys who own this camp were the admins, because I came back the next day actually, and this camp was as it had been prior to the destruction, including that DayZ was back intact and everything. So everyone's a winner. I got their gear and they got their gear back. Anyway, guys, this was a demonstration of just how easy it is to get all the equipment, the MVGs, everything you want, guns, everything, simply by traveling the edges of the map north and west of Chernobyl. That's also how I found the Ural I showed in the previous video, which had 50 ultra rare weapons in the back of it. Hope you enjoyed this video. We're going to have some fun with this gear a bit later in videos to come, but for now it is Slipper Jim out. Thanks for watching.